and welcome to the celebrated nightly news of Calaveras County. My name is John.
And I'm Kim.
And we thank you for stopping by. Your name is Kim?
My name is Kim.
And you may notice on the bottom of your screen we have a new little graphic.
Yes, we do. We'd like to thank Dr. Shannon Russell, who is actually a man, of First Impressions Dentistry of Arnold, for sponsoring our news tonight. He's a very lovely dentist.
Would it have made a difference in his quality of dentistry if he hadn't have been a man?
No, because Shannon, you think people might think it's before I went to see him.
I'm just kidding.
I didn't know if I was going to see a man or a woman.
Oh,
okay.
Okay.
He's been in Arnold about a year and a half. He's over in the Alpine, I think it's called the Alpine Shopping Center, the Alpine Plaza, which is above the laundromat over there.
Mm-hmm.
He's got an excellent office staff. They're very, very friendly and warm every time you go in. He's very friendly and warm every time you go in. Just a wonderful asset to the community.
And we've heard great things from his patients.
Yes, we have.
So.
Yes, he's a good dentist. Very friendly. Got the whole package. Nice staff.
There you go.
Well knowledgeable staff.
Now, you spent some time in the chair today, didn't you?
Yes, I did. A couple hours. Yes, I did. Go back tomorrow morning. Yes. So we'd like to thank him for sponsoring our news this evening.
Thank you very much for sponsoring the news this evening and also for sponsoring.
And we wish you well in your dentistry business.
That's
He's
right.
looking for a place to expand. He's going to be growing his office. He just hired a couple new people, so
and also
doing
sponsoring our news and also the PineTree.net.
Yes,
thank you very much. All right. Well, where do we start today? We started off
with where you went. Where did you go today? You went to Board of
It's Tuesday, so it must be Board of Supervisors Day. And
you notice I never say I've been to a Board of I don't think I've ever been to. Well, I've been to one because I would go into those meetings and it would go completely over my head. Unfortunately, I wouldn't understand. I'd have to take notes.
I don't understand.
Which you don't. Well, you don't take notes. You just remember what they talk about.
I don't take notes.
It would go completely over my head. I know it. So
I never take notes.
I'd like to try going. I would like to go. I'd like to.
Oh, you can go next week.
Of course, I say that, but. The kids.
Anyway, this morning, a couple little things is Michelle Yee from Trinitas was back with some public comment during public comment period about the new draft EIR that is out on the Ridge at Trinitas project. And now that this is out, you thought there'd be a few weeks.
So the EIR is out.
Right, and first you thought maybe they'd have a few weeks so there wouldn't be any controversy around county government or not. Yeah, anyway, this is going to get rolling again.
This was just released a couple of days ago. We have the actual EIR draft report on the PineTree.net.
Well, we probably should link, because it's like 430 pages long.
Oh, it is?
Yeah. The full thing
that
is
many pages over.
That's the full actual.
Sorry, the one that I had was a draft.
It's the. You probably had the summary. Yeah, because this one, if you want to read it, it's like 430 pages.
So we need a link to the whole thing so you can take a gander at that.
It'll take you a while.
Sleepless at night. And
basically what this draft EIR did, based on an April decision, it goes back to, and sets the baseline at pre-golf course EIR.
Okay. So it does.
And this will be the next few couple months until this goes one way or another. This is going to be a very contentious topic. Lots of people in the business community, including the Calaveras Taxpayers Association, the Deputy Sheriff's Association, have come out publicly in favor of this as a good thing economically for the county. There is a group of citizens on that side of the county called Keep It Rural Calaveras who are very much opposed to the project.
Because it's going to be a public golf course, correct?
Correct. Well, private. I mean, it's going to be a membership only.
They would rather have it be what? Ag, like
correct.
Grapes or whatever.
And this is so. This is if you're just late joining the conversation on that. This has been every few months. This one will rear its head, and it has been for the last couple of years.
Mm-hmm. It's actually beautiful. I've seen the pictures of it.
It's a beautiful course. Yeah, it's a beautiful course. But the point from the people is should it have been built in the manner it was built, and there's lots of different discussions on the side, and so most people get a tour. The feeling for it, we'll probably be doing a tour of it in the next few days.
Yes, okay.
So,
have you taken a tour? You have?
I haven't done a complete tour. I've done a brief of it. It's
3-hour tour.
Yeah, the way it's laid out, it's very pretty.
Okay.
Also today on the for the Calaveras County Board of Supervisors, one of the agenda items was the new jail.
Okay.
And what they were looking at is Basically the first public hearing since they sold the bonds. Now, if you're curious, they basically all of the bonds have been sold and the money has been transferred into the county checking account.
Okay.
So it's earmarked for the jail, so they can't spend it. Okay. But they got about $30 million parked in the account.
So there is.
It's already sold. They already got it. So they got about $30+ million sitting in an account now from the bonds for the jail.
All right.
Okay. Also, what was today? There was what they had was an actionable item where basically they had to say when the land that they're buying for the jail, they had to give it a use permit and also a negative declaration on how it was going to impact. There was other talk as well on traffic issues, how it's going to relate to Caltrans. There was also a citizen there who was concerned how the jail is going to impact his property. But it's going forward. And this is one of the first incremental steps of really.
This is money to buy the property. See, I don't know.
No. What this was is this was as much procedural as this was procedural as anything.
Okay.
So basically, they had to just tie up loose ends as far as all the zoning stuff, all the other related to the project.
Okay.
So that was part of that stuff today. Also, the flood mapping was passed today. There was some citizens from the Vallecito area that were back again today. And it was, overwhelmingly passed 5-0 on the flood mapping because FEMA is going to give the county $1 million to go over and redo all the mapping and everything else. And because of a lot of the flood areas down around Cosgrove Creek, Valley Springs area, the overall benefit for the county is this is something they needed to do. It was expressed by a couple, by Supervisor Walensky, Supervisor Tryon, and also in some ways by Supervisor Callaway, that they had hoped that some of the mapping process that FEMA goes through helps alleviate some of the issues for the Vallecito residents, and where they may have to do some variances. I think the supervisors know that they're going to need to take care of the citizens from Vallecito. Basically, there's something analogous to, for lack of a better thing, but for even following local news, the driveway slope issue. Because what this is let's say you're carrying a long-term mortgage, and it's a mortgage that requires flood insurance. If you're within a floodplain, you may not be able to get that, or if you do, it would be prohibitively expensive. And the other wrinkle is let's say you're within a floodplain, if your house burned down or in other ways was damaged at over 50% of its value, would you be allowed to rebuild? And the answer to that was probably no. So something will probably work out similar to like on the driveway slopes, to where the county issued a letter, and this I'm speculating here a little bit, but this is probably looks where it's going. A letter to saying that you would be allowed to rebuild with like for like. That hasn't been granted yet, but I think there's stuff in the works that they will probably do something for these citizens, because the area that they're talking about has not flooded in over 100 years. So it's not like it's one of the ones that floods every few years.
It never does, right?
Yeah, that's the issue on that one.
Already under 68 feet of water, correct? The homes there.
Well, they did a preliminary mapping one that shows in there. Yeah, it shows at some points that they could be underwater. But the other interesting thing is that they doesn't take into effect that the drainage there, the new Maloney's drainage, right? That's where all this water goes, and it's not going to be filling up and backing up anytime soon. I don't think so.
I don't think so.
So that was a little bit on Board of Soups. We had some exciting stuff on Angels Camp City Council. We'll cover later, but go ahead. You got a couple more things you want to talk about there.
Nothing important. I was just looking at a press release I received today from Brent Harrington.
There you go.
In regards to the Calaveras Community Foundation. Calaveras Community Foundation calls for grant proposals from county nonprofit groups. Calaveras County Foundation, the county's leading philanthropic organization funding a variety of projects from education and health, the arts and history, announced today that 2008 grant proposals from nonprofit organizations may now be submitted. The deadline for submissions is October 1st, 2008. Grant recipients will be announced in November. November. The CCF anticipates a 25% increase in available grant funds compared to 2007, but demand for grants traditionally exceeds the available funds. This year, the CCF will consider grant requests in the amounts of $500 to the $5,000 range. The foundation has had a successful year raising funds. We look forward to returning those funds to worthy community projects in Calaveras County. Information on CCF grants, including a grant proposal form, may be obtained by calling the CCF office at 736-1845.
All right. Now, a couple little the Angels Camp City Council tonight welcomed two new peace officers to the county.
Around to that town.
Welcome,
maybe
officially sworn in today. These were two new police officers were added to the ranks.
Okay.
And
congratulations.
they are if you're looking at your screen, the shorter of the two gentlemen is Edwin Reyes, and he will be moving to Calaveras County from Turlock.
Okay, congratulations.
From the Turlock area, he's looking at purchasing a home, I believe, from talking to him briefly tonight, in the county, and also is another local product, local as in Sonora, so not too far away. So Chris Johnson.
Okay.
From Sonora has joined...
Two little young bucks, aren't they?
Yes, has joined the Angels Camp Police Department, so... Congratulations and welcome. And thank you for joining the force here in the county. And those are
so they had that. They were actually had the oath of office for those two gentlemen, and also Joe Darby.
Joe Darby, which we covered. Joe Darby, we took his picture.
Yes, I know last week, but I'm just saying he was actually officially oathed in this evening, right?
He oathed. He got oathed.
Okay.
He got oathed.
Okay.
He got oathed in. Yes.
What else they talked about? They talked a little about Greenhorn, didn't they, out there tonight?
There was a little bit on Greenhorn. Now, this is the project.
Now it's called, what's it called? The Gallery at Greenhorn, formerly known as Classics on the Ridge.
Classics on the Ridge. Now, if you've been to Greenhorn, this is if you're going in the entrance that is by the clubhouse.
By the restaurant?
By the restaurant. This is that big dirt field you see with
big construction site.
Chain link
with
fences
not a whole lot of
around
activity going on, right?
And the reason there's not a lot of activity is the economic downturn. So they're looking at building 54 homes there. If you've been following this over the last few weeks, there's been several of the city council members that have been none too happy with the developer because they think it's somewhat of an eyesore, and it is.
So there was a public hearing tonight on the group requesting an extension of time, correct?
Right. Extension of time for the tentative map project. So this is basically for the subdivision tract map.
Okay.
What, and I think Councilman Seaton brought forth a suggestion which I think helped kind of diffuse some of the situation. I think will work out better for everybody. Is the county or the city wants the developer to do certain things as far as erosion control, mild beautification issues, try to make it so it's a little more presentable because it may be in this state for several years until the economy picks back up. The developer was there in person. He was very willing to do so. But the city would like to actually see him do so before they grant him an extension. Okay. So what happens? So basically, Councilman Seaton brought forth a suggestion that they postpone the decision on the extension until the second meeting in October. So and they basically told the developer that if you comply with some of the requests that the city has in store, then they would grant him his extension if in fact he complies with the requests. Okay. So that's kind of a little bit it on the city council meeting. And also the other thing that is a kind of a reoccurring theme. Everybody in the city is very pleased with the progress Caltrans is making on the bypass, but there's been one little fly in the ointment is that Caltrans actually blocked access to like 7 acres of that was the one parcel that was the Mr. Wilmshurst parcel, that potentially for like a car dealership or something there. But I think in the instant economic climate, the car dealership proposal is probably not a good one. But the county right now, or the Caltrans right now, has blocked access to what would be one of the prime commercial pieces of commercial real estate in the Angels Camp area. They can't get to it.
It's right along there,
It's right in there, right there about the interchange. So one of the things is the City of Angels has voted to
draft a letter, right?
Draft a letter to be sent to the traffic chair from Caltrans.
Okay.
This will be sent to Will Kempton, to the Caltrans director, so that Caltrans knows that the city of Angels Camp is wants better access to some of these parcels.
Okay.
And it's in some of these ways, it may just be a little bit gamesmanship, back and forth until it gets done. But
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
As
When
it
it's
sits right
finished,
now,
I wonder if it will be more
as
accessible.
it sits right now, there's no access at all.
There's no access. Okay.
Because even if you even notice for the gas station there, they blocked off access.
Right. Because you're right. That would make good location for some
type of commercial
businesses.
park.
Yes,
businesses.
exactly.
It's there's a lot, but right now there's no real options for it because it's blocked.
It's blocked. Okay. All right.
There we go.
Are you done talking Angels Camp City Council?
I think that's it for tonight. We'll probably have posted more up. And now on our weekend stuff, what did we get covered last night?
We got everything covered. For the
We
weekend.
did?
We talked about everything.
But I got some of the video done now.
Okay, I want to talk about one more thing that's happening tomorrow
There you
night.
go. I'll
Because
pull
it
up
closes
something.
out the season of the music in the
Yep,
parks
you got
tomorrow
it.
evening, which is sponsored by the Calaveras Arts Council. Gypsy Swing Music closes the summer music in the parks on Wednesday, August 20th. The band Swing Gitani, a quartet from the Sonora area, will close out this summer's Music in the Park series presented by the Calaveras Arts Council. As usual, the last concert is in Arnold at the Cedar Center Amphitheater starting at 6:30 p.m. Bring your own picnics and chairs and your friends to this free performance. That'll be taking place tomorrow. It's kind of sad. It's coming to an end. I'm sad summer's coming to an end. I mean, I don't like the heat, but I also
don't
like
school.
back to school either.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like all that structure, you know.
Yeah. Now, one of the things is I wanted to play, and I know we talked about this last night, but we got a little bit of more information on it. I guess the Big Trees Family Day had over 2,000 people
They
attend.
did. That's
so
wonderful.
that was a very
Yes.
good event. Now, we did our little video piece on this on the Big Trees Family Day. So
There you go.
there's the horse-drawn wagon.
This does well every year. It's nice to see.
And we talked about the bowling and had a few slides that, but I don't think we actually
No.
showed them, did we?
No. For those of you that missed it, or those of you that want to relive it.
Relive it. Relive the moment. I'm going to skip through some of this. They have a beautiful old vintage horse-drawn wagon. Everybody waving at the camera. It's a very, everybody in period costumes. Very nice. We'll skip through this a little bit. They had some craft tables where they were making crafts. You want to tell them what they made? What were they
They're
making?
making little critters with pine cones. And here they have what's called cock bowling, right?
They have the bowling. Yeah, it's like...
Cock bowling. I don't know
it
why,
is?
but it is.
Don't know why. But this is
I'm not
on
using a bad word, I promise.
This is... and this is basically it's a
bowling.
wooden lane, right?
Yes.
It's a wooden lane that goes through. They put it in that way. And there's a 4-year-old young man here. Now, this guy was good. Look at him. Watch. Here he goes. He rolls. Boom! He scores. He gets down the pin. It's a 4-year-old
And the
young
volunteers
man.
that work out there also, they've been out there all day.
Mm-hmm.
They're dealing with these kids all day, and they're all very friendly and nice.
Here he goes. Is he going to do it? Can he make it? Oh, he gets another pin. So, they had the bowling. Let's see here. What else do we have? Oh, more bowling. Oh, this is of an adult. We don't want to watch an adult, do we?
No.
Yeah. They had
Here's
snakes.
the reptile rubbing, right?
Reptile rubbing. Interesting choice of words.
Weren't they petting reptiles or no?
They were. They had a.
No,
you could
thank you.
hold the snakes.
Yes. Not
Which
into
you
reptile
really-
rubbing.
There's some lizards there. A nice little horny toad there on the right.
You like that name, don't you?
No, I don't know.
I could
Hadn't
tell.
thought about it until you
Oh,
said
yeah.
something.
Uh-huh.
Here we go. Little garter snake. The young man who couldn't quite make himself hold.
My older daughter.
Yeah, I don't blame him. I don't want to
He's
either.
like, nah, I don't think so. No.
Very nice, John. So this full video will be up on the pinetree.net if you'd like to take a look at it. When will that be up, John?
Well, it's on the server now. You just
We're doing
can't
our
see it.
best. Doing our best. Getting as fast as we can. We're getting a little slower than we used to be. We're getting
There's just
busier.
more stuff.
We're just getting busier.
Oh. Yeah. Just more stuff. And one little thing we wanted to mention on local sports. Can I mention a little bit on local sports?
Please do.
All right, here we go. Let's see. Soccer practice for the Ebbets Pass Youth Soccer League started. Now, this is a couple teams are practicing at the Mark Twain field there in Angels Camp, and they'll play up at Feeney Park. And there's one more little one we'll find here. Let's see here. And also, did you have anything you wanted to...
I wanted to tell the viewers about something that we have kind of exciting and fun going on, a little contest.
Starting the 1st, huh?
Starting on September 1st. The PineTree.net has something exciting planned. This is our first year of doing this. If you visit all the painted frogs in Calaveras County, the class of 2008, you have a chance to win some fabulous prizes. Now, there are, 18 frogs, right? Or 16 frogs?
There's quite a few frogs.
There's 16 frogs. 16 painted frogs spread out throughout Calaveras County. And we have a map that you can print off of our website that has the exact location.
I didn't mean to get Steve Miller.
It's not very professional, John.
No, it's not very professional. We better hit mute here.
Okay.
There we go.
As I was saying,
mute.
We have a map that is on the PineTree.net that was provided to us by the Chamber of Commerce. If you print out the map, basically the Painted Frogs of Calaveras County is a community art project sponsored by the Calaveras Chamber of Commerce every year. We have a fun contest plan beginning September 1st and ending October 15th. Print the Class of 2008 frog map we have enclosed and pay a visit to each frog site. Your map will be stamped at the site. They're either going to be initialing it or stamping it at the site. When you have finished visiting all the frog sites, drop off your map at the Calaveras Chamber of Commerce. Attention, Diane Gray. No later than October 16th, make sure to put your name and phone number on the map. And we will then hold a drawing for some fabulous prizes. Now, we have some great prizes, don't we?
There's some really nice
but
prizes.
But you have to go to every frog. So
you gotta
go to every frog. And there really isn't that many. And you know why we want you to visit them? Because we want you to really go out and appreciate them. We want you to see how lovely they really are versus just seeing them in a picture, because they are. I mean, the artists put so much time and energy in these, and and also gives you a chance to go visit the business that's sponsoring the frog, right?
Because they spend a lot of time and money.
They do. So here are the prizes so far. 2 tickets to the Gala Auction, which is the auction that is held every October, where they actually have the auction for the frogs.
Mm-hmm.
That was donated by the Chamber of Commerce. We have kayak rentals from Snack. Actually 2 free zipline adventures from Cave and Mine Adventures.
Mm-hmm.
Camp's dinner certificate. Golf for foursome at Greenhorn Creek Golf Resort. Local wines, gift certificates, gift baskets, and more.
There's going to be some good stuff.
Yes.
I mean, some really good...
So the drawings will be held on October 20th at the Chamber office. Then we will list the winners right after that. This will give you an opportunity to go out and visit these lovely frogs that the local artists have put so much time and energy in, and to also visit the business that has so graciously sponsored these frogs.
That's a very nice
It's actually a fun contest, I think.
Now, it is getting into the time for local sports.
Yes, it is.
And one of the things we thought was kind of cool is if you've... now, the Calaveras football team, the new incoming head coach, the outgoing head coach always had a midnight practice when the dead time was over. Now, this one, they had an early morning 6 a.m. practice. All right?
Wow.
Now, in Bret Hart, they did an afternoon practice. Now, this is something from yesterday, and this is football team just practicing out there off of Murphy's Grade Road. There they go. They're practicing. They're practicing football. It looks like this was a kicking drill.
Okay.
It's like a punt drill. Here we go.
Or some other day. They're practicing
probably every day.
They were every day. They're running with like balls on top of their heads.
There we go. Boom. Punt drill. But it's now countdown. Now, one of the things is we will be providing a game of the week all season long. So you'll have one live football game from either Bret Hart or Calaveras every Friday night all season long.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that will start up right after Labor Day.
Well, last year you did that. You had a live game every Friday night.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, there we go. That's what I want to talk about.
Okay.
High school sports.
All right. We're almost done, John. It's all 10:28 already.
Should we be nice and go out early so they don't have to look at us for another couple minutes?
Well, it's going to be hot, we know, right?
It was gorgeous.
When I was
today.
up in Arnold today, it was actually looked a little cloudy.
Yeah, a little bit of a little bit of. I mean, was that the weather? High 80s. I mean,
It's
just
been kind of
nice.
Hopefully, fall will be here soon. I can hardly wait. My very favorite time of year.
Yeah,
Get all
nice
the pumpkins
stuff.
out and all that. I love that.
And a little bit of national news. Obama says that he has picked a running mate. He's just keeping everybody in suspense until Friday or Saturday.
Until Friday or Saturday, all
And
right.
in a tech kind of an angle to it, I guess it may be released by email or cell phone.
Okay. Do you have any idea who it is?
Don't know.
Don't know. Okay.
It could still be Hillary.
Oh, my goodness.
It might. Or it could be Biden is being floated around.
Okay.
The Kansas governor
All right.
is being batted around. Olympics still going on. Bolt is poised to strike an Olympics double and some of the sprinting stuff.
I was reading somewhere that a gal from Galt got a gold medal for something.
Isn't that cool?
Yes.
And also on an entertainment note, Gary Glitter was released from prison in Vietnam.
Okay.
We won't even go to what he did because if you know, it's like, yeah, it's kind of icky. Kind of icky. All right, okay.
Are we done?
I guess we're done.
We're
I guess
done.
that's it. We want to thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
There's a lot more stuff we could talk about, but we don't want to bore you to death, and we'll be back here
Tomorrow
night.
Thank you.
Good night. Thank you very much.